Well, it's graduation season, and the class of 2024 across the Bay Area and the country, for that matter, is dealing with some unique challenges. Ann Makovic joins me now, and some of the ceremonies look a little different than what we're used to, right?
Yeah, and that is because of ongoing protests against the war in Gaza. We've seen them in encampments at Bay Area universities and at graduation ceremonies. That was at UC Berkeley. Pro-Palestinian protests broke out during commencement ceremonies on May 11th. People in the crowd, including many graduates, holding Palestinian flags and signs calling for the university to divest in any enterprise that might help Israel in its war. Things much quieter at Cal State East Bay at their recent graduation celebration. But we did hear from one graduate who says if protests would have stopped the ceremony, she would have understood.
While this is a huge milestone in my life, the lives and well-beings of others are equally as important. This is a piece of paper, and I'm still going to receive it regardless if I walk.
She says her last two graduation ceremonies were virtual, so she would have been prepared for another one if protests would have stopped this one. The show went on at Sonoma State over the weekend, but there was a silent protest outside of the camera's view. 15 demonstrators holding Palestinian flags standing face to face with police and sheriff's deputies, and they chanted as the ceremony ended and walked away. That ceremony ending an eventful week at Sonoma State. On Thursday, its president, Mike Lee, stepped down after he was suspended for making an unsanctioned agreement with a group of protesters who had set up an encampment on the school's Person lawn. And at UC Santa Cruz, about 2,000 graduate student workers are on strike. They are protesting over concerns about how the entire UC system has handled pro-Palestinian protests. The university has deemed the strike illegal, but the grad students say they are carrying on with it. The strike will likely coincide with commencement ceremonies at UC Santa Cruz, which are set for mid-June. Liz.
All right, Ann, thank you. Still ahead, we get some advice for graduates about to enter that job market. A professor from Cal State East Bay helps us break down the skills they really need. Plus, from retirement investments to health care to paying off those student loans, we'll look at what grads need to know about their money. Stay with us. Well, they've got their diplomas, so now what? Well, this afternoon, we are focusing on the graduating class of 2024 and what they will need as they take their next steps. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says now is the time to get their money matters in order.
Now that college is over, graduates need to come up with a payment plan for those student loans. Start by detailing what you owe, the loan's interest rate, the monthly amount, and when the first payment is due. There's usually a grace period of 6 to 9 months, during which you are not required to make payments. But since the interest clock is ticking, start as soon as possible. If you have a federal loan and are having trouble paying it, consider an income-driven repayment plan, which can reduce the monthly amount by extending the period of time you have to repay the loan. If you're starting a new job where the employer provides health insurance, look at your options. A high-deductible plan through work can be more affordable, or it may be cheaper to stay on your parents' health plan, which you can do until age 26. Finally, even though cash flow may be tight, if that new job includes a retirement savings plan, try to contribute to it at least up to the company match. If there's a Roth option for retirement, use that, because paying taxes up front on contributions now, while you're in a low tax bracket, will likely pay off in the future.
And joining me now live is Amira Barger. She is the professor of marketing and communications and change management at Cal State East Bay. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Always a pleasure to have you. Okay, so all these graduations are going on. Everybody's celebrating. It's going to be great. Summer is here. But then reality hits, and it's time to find a job. So what's it like in the job market right now? Are they hiring a lot of graduates? Is it easy to find a job these days?
It's not easy to find a job these days. It's a stark job market out there today. But one of the things that we find is that there are many entry level roles. Certainly, the most recent stats and reports note that the higher you are up in the food chain, the longer it's going to take you. So, for recent college graduates at an entry level, there are a great many opportunities. And it's really about establishing a routine of when and where to look and sticking with it consistently.
What about this whole concept of remote work? I know a lot of graduates like the idea, ooh, I can work from home. But is that really a good idea for that first job out the gate, to not be in the office, not have that one-on-one communication, interpersonal, conversations?
Well, 50% of remote capable employees are working in a hybrid format. And one of the things that we know about junior employees or recent graduates entering that entry level job is you learn so much through osmosis. In the professional world, we might refer to them as flybys. You're walking by someone's office or their desk, you grab a coffee, or you overhear a meeting or a call, and you learn so much by just being in the midst of other professionals. So what I would recommend to recent graduates is to establish a routine of being in the office with great intention for impact. So maybe you go in 2 days or 3 days, and across those days you're in the office, you're really intentional about seeking out your mentors and others that you can learn from through osmosis, and being a part of meetings, workshops, and in the room to really capture some of those skills that can often be lost across a screen, a phone call, or a chat message, for example.
I want to dive a little deeper into those skills, because a lot of these folks have been in academia, which is a whole different environment than actually being in the workplace. What sort of special skills do you think all these kids need to know, or all these graduates need to know before they enter the workplace?
Communication, over communicate. That's one of the keys here, because we are in a more distributed workforce where we are hybrid. Some are remote, some are in the office, some split their time in half. Communicating with your colleagues and using the tools available to you is one of the top skills that we need to focus on, and to do so consistently and across a great number of mediums. If you're using Teams or Slack channels, other chat options, video conference calls, and again, when you're in the office, being really intentional about communicating in person across workshops and meetings is something that graduates need to think about. Also, I mentioned consistency. The consistency of having a routine is really important for graduates. You have a routine during your college days, the same is going to be true in the professional workplace. And consistency of networking meetings, continuing to do some of those extracurricular activities like volunteering that open you up to a plethora of potential networking opportunities and skills that you can continue to learn that are valuable even in the workplace.
The transition after graduation, although really exciting, can also be really stressful, especially when you're trying to find that job. What can people know about mental health and keeping that strong during this time?
Mental health is the number one reason cited by students for their feelings of lack of preparedness for the workplace. But they've also noted that they felt really confident about the services that have been provided to them through mental health care or career services through college campuses and universities. So if college graduates take anything away from today, what I want them to think about is establishing a routine similar to their college days, because it helps to ease the significant life transition that they're about to go through, which can be very mentally jarring. During college, students have a familiar routine and support system, including trusted healthcare, career services available on campus. And with the added challenges that COVID brought, 60% of students across almost 400 campuses met the criteria for at least one mental health concern. So all this highlights the importance of stability during this transition. And you can change your life by changing something that you do daily. And so much of success in school and in the workplace can happen across the consistency of our daily routines. And so establish a routine. And part of that routine can be a financial advisor, a mental health professional that you work with, and tapping into the health benefits that are available through your new employer is a great way to help to mitigate some of the concerns and challenges we know students have raised going into the workplace today.
All right, such great advice. Amira Barger, professor at Cal State East Bay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shifting now to Bay Area high school graduates heading off to college. That's a big step, too. The Dave Goldberg Scholarship Program, created by former Meta executive Sheryl Sandberg, is celebrating a new class of scholars. It supports students from low-income families who are the first in their families to go to four-year colleges. Sean Chitness spoke to a scholar from the Peninsula who represents the expanded reach of this program.
Valeria Chavez Franco has a lot to smile about as her senior year comes to an end at Woodside Priory School. She knew college was in her future, even with limited resources growing up, and as the first in her family to go to a four-year university.
It's always been because I've had a really amazing community of mentors and of supporters behind me.
A standout student who had several extracurriculars to keep her busy, the decision she faces is one many students would envy, her choice of admission to 4 selective colleges across the country.
I think that's how first-generation scholars can really succeed, is with the support of everyone around them.
She's part of the 2024 class of Dave Goldberg Scholars, a program from the Sandberg Goldberg Bernthal Family Foundation. Launched several years ago to help low-income first-gen students get to college and succeed once they go there, the program expanded in 2023 to partner with Peninsula Bridge, a nonprofit that pulls promising students from more than 50 schools between San Mateo and Mountain View in 4th grade and mentors them up until their college graduation.
We really do believe that all of our scholars deserve a chance to thrive and succeed, and each one has the potential to be successful on the college and career path with our 13-year program model.
The Dave Goldberg Scholarship provides a life-changing amount of financial support by paying for all the costs around college, like transportation, supplies, and opportunities to study and do research outside of a college campus.
There are so many additional costs. The college financing piece is so difficult for first-gen underrepresented students, and there are so many barriers to being a successful college student.
Students like Valeria are grateful and say it fuels their passion to advocate for more access to higher education. She plans to study sociology in college so she can have an impact on the community around her.
The lessons that I learn and the lessons that I take away from this experience are the lessons that I pass on. And that's how you create generational knowledge, and that's how you also create generational success.
A passion to be the first with a commitment to help others so she isn't the last.
And still ahead, a big promise to hundreds of students in Oakland. The program that's reinvesting in the city's youth and helping them achieve their dreams. As we focus this afternoon on the class of 2024, we want to highlight a life-changing gift for more than 1,100 students in Oakland. Our Andrea Nakano spoke to a young man who's part of one of the town's largest scholarship giveaways.
These young students are the future of Oakland. They are leaders and role models in their community. You won't find a more positive and inspirational young man than 17-year-old Royal Hubbard.
That comes from my mom, my auntie, my family, my dad, because of everyone. Everyone just put their time and working for me. It's a community in me, literally. So what I want to do is be in the community in me and bring it right back out to the world.
Royal is a senior at Oakland Tech High School and is one of the recipients of the Oakland Promise Scholarship. He's one of more than 1,100 students who are getting a share of nearly $5 million to help them go to college. For Royal, it's a dream come true to be the first in his family to get a college education.
My dad didn't have much, my mom didn't have much, my family didn't have much, so I learned from their mistakes. I'm going to take their mistakes and just go drive from it.
These students not only receive financial support, but resources such as mentors to guide them in the next chapter of their lives. Oakland Promise was created in 2016 as a way to reinvest in the city's youth.
Really, our students in Oakland, they are the stars. They are excellent, and they have the opportunity to really change the trajectory of their zip code.
Royal will be going to CSU Northridge in the fall to study business and marketing with an emphasis on fashion. He's already had a chance to be a part of New York Fashion Week and hit the runway. He's on his way to turning his dream into reality, but he also knows his journey is not just about him.
I be thinking about too much and make me want to shed a tear because I'm like, dang, my little cousin, my nephew's really looking at me like, I really got to do this. I really got to do something that's going to change their mindset.
And Royal is creating the path for his family to now follow in his footsteps.
And thank you so much for joining us for today's conversation about the class of 2024. If you're graduating, congratulations. We'd love to hear what you think and what you're seeing and hearing in your neighborhoods. Post your thoughts online using the hashtag KPIX. CBS Evening News is next right here, and local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Hi, thanks so much for watching. To view more content like this, we've selected some videos that we think you'll enjoy. And don't forget to like or click that button here on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe.